Pisces, your weekly love tarot reading begins with the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man showed up for all three of the water readings today. Your person is coming in with 8 of Pentacles, Empress energy, 5 of Pentacles, and 10 of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, Pisces, we have Death. So death is a huge transformation. Something is ending to make room for something new. So the beginning is the beginning of the change, the beginning of the transformation has happened. Let's get right into your reading. We'll come back to that bottom energy card. King of Cups for you, 8 of Pentacles for them. So you are well and truly have your eyes on somebody, and right now your objective is getting them, right? Getting a connection with them. You know what you want, you're going to go after it. 8 of Pentacles, somebody is, this individual is very busy. They may not even know that you're interested in them. You're definitely looking at them, but they are looking at their work. Right now, it could very well be that you have met this person on their job or through their work, or you may even work together. But in any case, the immediate energy here is that they're just not necessarily noticing that you're interested, Pisces. So let's get some clarity. 5 of Cups, wow. And for them, King of Swords. I feel like for you, perhaps, interesting. Listen, for you, you have 5 of Cups energy, so there's a loss, there's a mourning the past. This may indeed be an ex, Pisces. This may be an ex-lover that you continue to pine away for. You continue to want them. You continue to have your eyes set on them. And they're kind of very much just like moving forward. They're doing their work. They're keeping to themselves. But definitely heartache is here. And I think that I feel this 5 of Cups is for this individual, of course, right? You look at them, you're like, damn, what happened to this relationship? King of Swords for them. So they're being quite strong and sort of, I want to say, determined, consistent about what they require. Whatever their boundaries are with you now, whatever their rules are with you, they're being very sort of determined and adhering to that, So definitely there has been a split here, but, your person has been very, very honest and very strong about putting a boundary between the two of you. And you sort of maybe even changing the dynamic of this connection. Now, how do you guys see each other? You see them as a Page of Wands, and they see you as Empress energy. I mean, to you, you see this fearless, creative, fiery individual. They see you as Empress. This is interesting. They can see that you really you're someone who loves luxury. You love to take care of yourself. And I think in this regard here, it does feel a little bit like that's how they see you. That's the energy of the Empress that they're seeing. Someone who ultimately really does for self, The shadow side of the Empress can be very sort of self-centered. And so it's interesting, that's how they see you, especially since they have these boundaries here that they've put up, these walls that they've put up for sure with you. And, and yet at the same time, there's this kind of attitude here from them that, you're fine. I think that perhaps you feel like you're heartbroken here over them, but I think in their mind, they see that's, yeah, okay, you may be heartbroken, but ultimately you're fine. Fool energy is there. And 8 of Swords, wow. So your person absolutely feels like they've been victimized in this relationship. Again, there's an arrogance here, selfishness here, a self-indulgence here that they perceive you as having. Even almost a way of toying with them, right? You may be a little bit older, or in your eyes, you may believe that you are more emotionally mature. In any case, they feel like they were really sort of victimized. That's the only word I can think of, really. in this connection, as if they were not able to move or to do what they wanted to do. Oftentimes, this is a position or a sort of role that we put ourselves into, we place ourselves into this role of victim, because nobody can victimize you unless you allow it. So this energy can be quite toxic. But in any case, this is how they feel. You are coming in with full energy. You may be willing to, start again with this individual. I feel like you're wanting to go back into this connection. This may be the type of connection that has gone around and around and around, but this time I feel something different. Death is at the bottom of the deck, and there's definitely a change this time. I don't think it's going to go the way it's gone before. This kind of cycle breaking up and, them putting their foot down and then getting back together, because there's toxicity on their side too with this Eight of Swords. There is a tendency for your person also not to take much responsibility for their part in the connection. Nevertheless, you're willing to do it all over again with them. And so, yeah, this is definitely a toxic cycle connection. Now, how do you see your roles in the relationship? Well, you see yourself as the Queen of Swords, and they see themselves as Five of Pentacles. And so right now, it's interesting because right now, even though they're the ones who've put a lot of boundaries in place and rules about if you're going to interact, how you're going to interact, you come to a place, Pisces, where you become also much more sort of aware of what you're feeling and what you want and what you desire in this connection and who you are in a way, right? You begin to demand some things also. And that's how you see yourself in this role, see your role in this relationship. I think right now, again, things have changed, and now you're seeing a bit of a change. You see a change in how you present in this connection. You're wanting a lot more honesty, perhaps, from yourself and from your person. I think you're getting a lot more clarity as well as a result of this last breakup. Something happened in this last breakup that was different. Again, I do feel like this is one of these cyclical relationships where you two have broken up and gotten together a lot. Five of Pentacles is how they come in. So right now they feel very ostracized and out in the cold, like they feel like you've really abandoned them in some kind of way. Yeah, this is a really difficult, toxic connection, Pisces. You both kind of play victim with each other. You both kind of pretend to not care, but then you do care. And you're both very, very similar people. And again, right now, as they're doing well in and of themselves, they're working and making money. But when it comes to this connection, this relationship, they feel like they've been really cast aside. Even though it may indeed be that they were the ones who left you, right? Or they were the ones who precipitated the breakup. It's almost as it's one of those vibes of like, well, I left, but I didn't expect you to move on, or I didn't expect for you to change. So again, both of you are presenting with quite some toxic energy, and there needs to be a lot of shadow work here. Nevertheless, there may be a change. Again, with that Death card there may be a real change that comes in for the two of you. Nine of Swords, you continue to just be irritated and have sleepless nights, and King of Wands. So for them, yeah, someone may be coming in, and this may be what really shakes things up. This time around, there may be somebody coming in who really gives you a run for your money in terms of getting your person's attention, right? And you begin to be quite nervous about that. You have a lot of anxiety. I think while you guys were sort of playing in this game of breaking up and getting together and breaking up and getting together, somebody else has come in. And your person, and this may be the sudden change that's happening here as well. It's like there comes a time when that cycle is enough. And I think your person realizes how much they've allowed themselves to be victimized here in this connection. And they really decide, they just switch their attention. They allow an opening, and an opening happens with this King of Wands. So somebody definitely comes in for them. And what are the possible outcomes? Well, for them, things going great. Ultimate completion, finding the right mate, the right relationship, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And for you, hangman energy, like for you, you may indeed have an epiphany coming in. Again, things have changed this time around, Pisces. So things are not going the way they used to in this toxic connection. And this is a weekly love reading, but this is also a toxic connection reading. That's what it turns out for this one. And so there is also a possible sort of real true clarity moment for you in understanding what's really been going on here, what the dynamic is here, because I think also this is the first time that your person has really seriously left and gone with somebody else and been serious about that other person. And so this is like a very real breakup now, and not just the angry, let's pretend we're broken up for a few months and then we're going to get back together anyways. Like this is well and truly for you, like, oh shit, they've moved on. And I think that really resonates and allows for this huge change for you to happen as well. Spirit of the child, spirit of masquerade, and spirit of the angel. So the child is immature and innocent. Also adventurous, but quite immature. So, take that energy for what it is to you. Spirit of masquerade, false, hidden, and deceptive. And we have spirit of the angel, guidance, blessings, prayers being answered. All of those are spirits of darkness and light that may or may not be resonating for you in your specific situation. Of course, this is not going to resonate for everybody. And some of you may only resonate with parts of this reading, and that's fine. We have the octopus, wow, and the crocodile, both water animal spirits. But the octopus is a warning animal spirit that reminds us that, don't get involved in too many relationships. The octopus gets involved, gets all tangled up in messy emotional connections, too many of them that aren't really their business to get involved in, and they find themselves completely drained and just not knowing where they begin and the other person ends, and vice versa. Now, the crocodile is also water energy, but the crocodile is the animal spirit for patience. Waiting until the time is right. And so, yeah, I feel like your person may have been resonating with a lot of crocodile energy, in as much as, this toxic cycle that you guys were connected in, they may indeed have really been biding their time for the right time for it to really, really be over. You both are bringing and have brought toxicity here, but I think your person has been aware of their own toxicity, and by understanding that has made the necessary corrections through patience at exactly the right time, so that they can kind of move past this here to something else. You're kind of still stuck in it because you still haven't really faced your own toxicity and accepted your own toxicity like your person has. Your person has done that, and so they've begun really that process of changing, transforming their life and moving on. But you're kind of in stasis, in a little way. And so that's something that you're just going to have to face. And there is a possibility of you having the epiphany that comes in and helps you to understand that. All right, Pisces, this is your weekly love tarot reading. I hope it resonated in some way and gave you some guidance on a situation you're dealing with. This is a difficult reading. Nevertheless, it's only a snapshot in a short time in a possible situation. But if it resonated for you and it gave you some insight, please go ahead and hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. But for right now, Pisces, I'm going to wish you love, life, and happiness. And I hope to see you guys right back here next Wednesday on my channel for your weekly love tarot reading. Bye-bye now.